Chapter More Shemur, by power to make laws for laws, sister, prophet, in the grand Bible, More Shemur. All the time we're hosting that, our national assistant Grand Sheik, the assistant Grand Sheik is the assistant Grand Sheik on fair if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and is known before the citizens of More Shemur. We know the prophet is there for us, everything, take save the nation by taking faith by self, if I get you think you faith. And I at 19, my father sent me here to show the power of love divine, that love that reaches every living thing. And you know, as Assistant Grand Sheik, sir, I was listening to the class, and one of the first things that did hit me is, who made you? Allah, the great God of the universe. And when I see where YEHOSHUA was set here, show the power of love divine, the love that reaches every living thing, I think about our holy prophet Noble Drew Ali. You know, he was sent here. He was sent here for our earthly salvation. And he instructed us that our job was to love instead of hate. And probably go within. And this kind of love, you know, you have to really go within and search yourself and clean yourself up. Because we're not talking about that carnal love, that physical love. We're talking about this divine love that you don't think about it. You don't try to make up something or have someone try to fool them to believe that you have love for them. It just comes natural when you get these laws and lessons. You learn how to truly love them. It just comes natural, and you do for people because you love them. You do things because you love them. Like for instance, the one I truly love coming into my classes. And I've been in many of my classes when I've been ill. When most people would probably lay down and get some rest and, feel like I get to another couple of days or so. And I try to honor everything is because of love. It's kind of love that, well, in me that I just can't really just explain it, I guess, in 30 minutes, an hour, or what have you. But I know I love Allah, and I know I love the Prophet. And I know they're with me each and every day. And I know that I'm loved here in the Moorish American government by my citizens, maybe not by all of the citizens in the Moorish American government, but I know I'm loved. And I know I love people. I learned to truly love people. Although I may say a few things that, because, sometimes when you come across some people, sometimes you got to use the sword on them. And some of the people that I've had to do that, they look back and they say, you need to tell me that he helped me after what he said. Yeah, because you was wrong. Love is because you have a disagreement with someone, you don't up and hate them. You love them. Because truth is what makes you free. You give them the truth. You speak the truth. You be the truth. When you truly love and have love, and this from my understanding, this is where YEHOSHUA, he had that love divine, that love that reaches every living thing. Including, we talking about everything. He also had love for everything, plants, animal, all. Not just us, but everything. There was life in everything, because that's the kind of love that he had. And that's the kind of love that the Prophet had for us, and that's the kind of love we got to have for ourselves, for our people. You got to learn to love instead of hate. You got to learn to love just to love. And it ain't hard, it ain't difficult. I used to think it was. I had a grudge that trust me, that had nothing but death and children involved in it. And after being here, getting these laws and lessons and learning how to love and just really truly learn how to love and let it just flow out of you freely because we are love, I forgive it all my what they call it. And I don't have any enemies. All I have is brothers and sisters who just don't know who made them. But it doesn't weaken me from speaking the truth. And I learned to solve matter with love instead of walking around gritting my teeth at someone just because they made an error. And I've done that here in the Mortuary government. But I had to learn that you're not going to be able to say them all anyway. But it's our job to still love them. And I do. I welcome every move back home to the Mortuary government. Doesn't mean I'm going to say, let him be let him get his position back, the Council General or whatever position he holds. No, I'm not going to say that. You have to earn that. But I'm still going to love them. And then not here, I'm still going to love them. I end up by saying this. You know, I had to learn to love more than the government. I had to learn to love our sheik, our chairman, and yourself, because I had to keep my feet closed to listen. That was some things I had questions about, but I kept my feet closed to listen so that I can see what it is that I couldn't see, because like the chairman said, you know, the inner more, this is a good lesson for more, for all of them. If you're running your mouth and line that lower self-thought, which your thought called get in the way, and don't listen to what he or she saying, or the brother or sister, or the officials, listen what they're saying before you go to making judgment, because there's one, two things you just don't get and don't understand. That ain't love. Love is when you take the time to listen and be patient and get a clear understanding before you open your mouth. Just because you love the brother, because you love the sister, you want to listen to them. Because that love feels that, who to get beyond the field, that love that you have there for them, it grows. It grows a multitude. It becomes so powerful that you can actually see and hear your brothers and sisters, those who are being faithful. You can see those who are not being faithful, but you still love them no matter what. You still love them because Allah loves you. The Holy Prophet loves you. Our job is to love, and our job is to be loved. Because it's in the nature of self to be God. Learn to steal your thoughts and be yourself God. That's love. But you have to be quiet so that you can hear. You can hear it. In that inner thought, you can actually hear it. And you will know when you truly love someone. And I know I truly love Allah and the Holy Prophet, those who are leading the Mortuary government and our citizens and people around the world. And sometimes when you sit, last statement, sometimes when you sit and just look what it is on television or just over the radio or just brother and sister pass by, you know it. It's not just a feeling, but you actually know it. It's a big uplift, it's a big burden of relief, knowing that you truly are love and love people. No matter what they do. But we have laws. We have to obey them laws. They wrong. No, we don't accuse falsehood. You still can love them. Islam, peace, and honor to you for the class. So
muted. Unmuted.
Islam, brother, peace and love for the draw and gratitude. You know, and for those who are out there in social media that didn't hear the measure, we're going to give y'all the reference number to this class. You can call on our number. You go on the website, you'll get the number. You can actually go in there. It actually will come on, though. If you call in on our number, it's on the website. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to restream the audio or something so that y'all can get it. But you know how Rome do with these apparatuses. So it ain't strange. But is there any other more who would like to come forth and exercise their fire? Islam, Sister Curta Bay.
Islam. Dr. Engineer Curta Bay, first let me rise and give praises to our great God Allah. I give honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to Act One. I give honors to all my government officials. I give honors to you, National Sister Grand Sheik, muted Grand class tonight, most prospective class. And you're coming from powerful teaching. You're coming from Ayat 19. My father sent me here to show the power of love divine, that love that reaches every living thing. And as I was sitting listening, God, man, as you brought your measure, I tell you, in these days and time, I concur with Dr. Justice Bay, and I would just like to add to, in dealing with that love divine, and as you was giving your measures, in these days and times, love divine is most definitely needed, especially like you were saying when you was talking about our people, our sisters and our brothers going in a different direction, don't want to be bothered with one another, going in the going after the same sexes and all of these things, and the only thing that's going to heal all of that is us being love divine, being that love that YEHOSHUA talked about, that the people needed even in his day and time. And we definitely need that type of love now for our people, because our people, they don't understand, and they don't know who made them. They don't know about our holy prophet. They know none of that. And you could have compassion for them because we didn't know. I know, like you say, I can only speak for myself. I know I didn't know. I didn't know I had the prophet. I didn't know all these powerful teachings that the prophet had brought us. I knew nothing about it. But now that I know, like you said, are we demonstrating love divine? Yes, of course. I'm demonstrating love divine each and every day, trying to teach my people, being the message that I bring, because it is one thing. It's one thing to talk about. We can say a lot of things, but like we always say, people watch you. They watch what you do, and we can say whatever, but they be sitting back watching you. And sometimes our Moorish kin think, like you say, they think we don't see what be going on. They say one thing, and then they do another. And also, when you was talking about how, ones try to come against this government, and I can't say it enough, family. Those of you, I've seen people come and I've seen people go. I've seen people get on these calls, and I mean, you would think that nothing could take them away. And then all of a sudden, they gone. But you know what? Love divine, like the God man say, we put all that in Allah's hands. Because I know for a fact that when you put it in Allah's hands, it's going to be fixed. So you got to have the confidence that, like you say, God man, when you pray and ask Allah for something, I know He's going to come and give me an answer. And when we pray and put it in Allah's hands, let Him do the separate. Because sometimes when we try to separate, we might mess it up. But when He get in there and do the separation, it's going to be separated. And as I always say, this government is not, I love my officials, all of us, including myself. But it's not about us. What these people need to realize that this is Allah's government. And when you come against this government, you ain't hurting us. You ain't hurting the chairman. You ain't hurting the grand sheik. You ain't hurting the sister grand sheik. You ain't hurting nobody in this government, because you ain't coming against us. You coming against the great God Allah. And I tell you for a fact, I don't want to be near where you are when Allah let that boulder roll down. So those who got ideas and think that they can overthrow this government, all I can say is, I pray that the Prophet open up your eyes before you get crushed to powder. And like the God's man say, we love you. This government is here. This is your government. The Prophet give it to you. We here 7 days a week. And Grand Sheikh say 25 hours in a day. We here for you. But we can't shove this down your throat. We can't make you accept us. All we can do is be here. And be, like you said, be that love divine. Demonstrate that divine love. Just let it come all out our pores. That's what we do. That's what we do every night here on these classes. We showing you this love. We keeping the doors open. We keeping everything going for you to come home to your Moorish American government. But if you don't want to come, hey, we got to do what we got to do. We got to keep getting these teachings. And the Prophet say he was going to take us up on the incline. And family, I'm telling you, his supreme laws is coming now. And what's getting ready to come up on this earth, if you don't know his supreme laws, you're going to get taken off the count. Because this is nothing to play with. This is nothing to play with. And if you're at home, stay home. As Grand Chief say, if you ain't ready, get ready. If you are ready, stay ready. Boots on the ground. Let's go. Let's stand. Allah looking for some good strong Moors. Not no weaklings. Ain't no weak person take me nowhere. Allah looking for good strong men. That's what we got in this Moorish American government. Oh, National Sister Grand Sheik, gratitude to let me share. I tell you, got me fired up now. Peace and love. Unmuted.
And gratitude for that measure, sister. That's right. It's like we put it out there earlier. We ain't looking for no honor from no men and no women. You see what I'm saying? Don't watch me, watch Allah. That's the drawing. That's how the Muslim demonstrate. Keep your eyes on Allah and the Prophet. Islamism without the schism. Well, all right. Is there any other more Islam? Who is that cutting in before I can finish speaking? Islam, brother Bati Bey. How you been, boy? I'm just messing with you. Yeah. Islam.
Praise the like the rise, give my man a praise to Allah, honor to the Prophet, honor to our theocratic government, our World Council, our flag, seal, emblem, our divine constitution, our flag, seal, emblem, our Mufti, our World Council, and
muted.
Iranus. And definitely that come for it. But regardless, it hasn't happened. It's not going to happen. And I think that the most important thing is that when we think about divine love, and I see this as all the way around the board. A lot of times when people say divine love, we put ourselves as the executor of divine love, but we don't, put the one that may be in the position of getting examined in that era too. We only looking from a state of flaws
not, you know what I'm saying, as I say, more to say, they'll watch you when they listen to you. So if you watch me more than you listen to, then there's only two reasons why you watch me. You're either watching me to see how I'm doing something because it inspires you, or you're watching me to see when I'm going to mess up. And a lot of times, when it comes down to building something, when somebody has built something and they see another builder building something. So for instance, like me, I done did roofing, I did roofing, rough framing, concrete, drywall, and paint. I did all those things. So anytime that I look and I see another person doing a job, I'm always looking at their work. You know what I'm saying? But when I come into a building and say like the place I'm staying, I can see the flaw in the work because I built before. I can see where it, you know, the wood that they use may be work. But my intention is to still see that this is a modern marvel. Nonetheless, I can see that there's space underneath the door. It's a half inch on this side, and it's a 16 or 32nd on the other end. So that means that the door stays outside or the building is settled in a way where that building dilapidated. But when you look at people with divine love, you erase all those flaws. You don't even look at the flaws. Yeah, they may be brewing, they may be stirring, but I'm not paying attention to that. Not that I'm not paying attention. I'm aware of that, but I'm not paying attention to that. Because like they teach you in martial arts, is if you're gonna get hit with something, it's gonna hit you. But I might pump fake a few times. They got this seafood. He got this dude sitting in front of him with his back to him. He has a rod, a wooden rod, and the guy is supposed to guesstimate if he's gonna get hit or is he not gonna get hit. And you see the dude, he's moving to the left, moving to the right, and he's jerking his body. And he's just pump faking over his head. And finally, when the dude gets to arrest, he smacks him with the stick on his head. Because you let your guard down, but it's not to be frantic. There's nothing to be frantic with. People can say they're gonna try to take something. You can't take something over that you can barely comprehend what's built. Just because we understand ourselves don't mean we understand what the totality of a government is. Just because we understand ourselves don't mean we understand the person next to us. Just because we understand love don't even mean that we can comprehend love divine in its full capacity. Because if a law cannot be circumscribed, then none of those principles can be circumscribed. We don't understand how it's going to end out in the end with this mathematical equation, or if it's a divine equation. Because the immense frequency of those principles, they will shock you. They will shock you. And those definitely, like I said, on DEFCON 4, that still doesn't, you know what I'm saying? I'm still looking with the love thought. Because it's not possible to take over something you didn't build. This is like one said, this is not ours, this is Allah's. This is for our people. And I got to reiterate the fact that a lot of times, even me, I will, like when I'm driving down the road, I get irritated with people, the way they drive, because sometimes they Sunday driving. You know, on their phone, taking pictures, eyes everywhere but on the road. And they're putting my life in danger. So I get real irritated because I understand how powerful this machine that I'm in is. And I understand how reckless and how easily it is that it can get away from me. And I don't think that a lot of times I don't give credit to the flaws that everyone besides me makes. I think I'm the flaw. I may think I'm flawless because I'm holding myself in divine light, but I'm not equating everybody else because, you know, we're not looking at them. They come from the same source we come from. And a lot of times it's just as simple as putting everything on the table. You know what I'm saying? To curb that appetite. Even in the book, the chapter of Soil or So, it says the mind it desires action. The mind desires action, and it will go for it. I can't. I'm paraphrasing, but it will seek this to the. It basically the ears that heard it is action, and it may not, and it's also how we do. It may not be. It's not an attack on character. It's an attack on this person needs something to occupy. They need to build something. And sometimes that king ambition will, cause you to go haywire. But you got to realize that this is something that it has to be built with everybody. Ain't no one person got the master plan. It's not just one person with the master plan. Because this is a lot of them. So everybody, that's why we have these calls. So everybody can, give their understanding. And I think that this is our base point. This is home base. And people have to reach back in the home base. You know what I'm saying? In order to get that connection. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, these frequencies of love, truth, peace, freedom, justice cannot be circumscribed. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to, head on swivel, eyes alert. But we ain't worried about nothing over here. Some people know.
Unmuted.
Islam and peace and love. As I sit here and listen, I think it's something to point out, and we give honors to you, Brother Bati Bey, for that drawing. And I want to say this. Most of the time when somebody is looking for flaws in somebody else, they either using that flaw to try to have a reason to condemn those people that may have made them feel that they were inadequate because they chose to live their life in divinity. So they want to prove to them, and I know this for a fact, they want to prove to them that you are not who you say you are. Same thing when YEHOSHUA was on the manifest. But to say that you are striving toward perfection and all you can do is seek imperfection in somebody else is crazy. That's insanity. If you say that you demonstrate love divine and you about love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, but you have your eyes, on someone else, then you're only looking for a reason to have a gotcha moment, or they're looking for a reason also, like I say, to assassinate the character. And if they're looking for a reason to assassinate the character, you got to watch out because they might be wanting to do something else. And I'm saying this because let's look back, for instance, on the Supreme Grand Sheik, Brother Emiliel. If you look at the works that he was doing, he definitely was faithful in following his prophet. The prophet chose Emiliel to be his Supreme Grand Sheik in the Moorish Science Temple. And all them people that say they followed the prophet went against the prophet's choice. And you know how they did it? Somebody say Emiliel, an alcoholic, he liked to drink. And they used that as a ruse to overthrow his good works and his good deeds in following the prophet. And a lot of fools went behind that. They drunk from the well of poison. You see, they did that, and that's how they overthrew the brother. And all the people that claimed they were following prophet ended up following Kirkman Bey. And Kirkman Bey ended up passing form under the same circumstances of what he tried to put out there. And other than that, he was, mauled to death, so to speak, beat to death. And he was drunk when they beat him to death. And they said it was the European that did it to him. The same ones he was snitching and ratting to. You see? But they used that to overthrow the brother Milia. He went into a state of silence and ended up having a stroke later on down the line. But all of those who claimed they were following the prophet went against that because they looked at their actions or what they felt was imperfection. Now, I want to let this be known as well. We in the Moorish American government. This a nation. This ain't church. This ain't the masjid. So irregardless of whatever flaw you think you see in anybody in this body, ain't nobody in here trying to be no holy roller. We in here working on ourselves. And I know me, for example, I can speak for myself. I can't speak for nobody else. You know, I let you know about the trials and tribulations I go through. I'm very transparent and let people know exactly what's going on. You see, I tell you what I'm thinking, so you ain't got to know how I'm thinking. You see, so the main thing is, like I say, people got to keep their eyes on the prophet and stop looking at other people so they can have excuses. Because you got some people too like to try to find fault in somebody so that they can have an excuse to go out and do what they did. See, you know, the grand sheep did this, you know, and that ain't right according to the prophet. The assistant grand sheep did that. That ain't right. The chairman did that. That ain't right according to the prophet law, you know. So I might as well not even listen to them. I'm going to go, no, you've been wanted to get up out of here and do what you think you want to do. Don't use nobody else perceived lower self vibration, you know, to try to make that no excuse. You want to get up out of here, going on about your business. You see? Because the sheep, the chairman, myself, and all other divine ministers up in here, you know, had to work on themselves and is working on themselves. Will be working on themselves till we leave the body. That's you if you trying to make us a God. We didn't tell you to do that. Because that's what you're doing. You're trying to make a God out of, you know, somebody else outside of the self. We don't teach personality worship over here. You see? So stop making an excuse. He ain't doing it. She ain't doing that. Or listening to other people bringing you that manure. And then you'll be all right. That's one of the reasons why you have the numbers dwindling down, you know, in certain times. Because that same behavior. You know, so Islam. Is there any other more that would like to speak? The floor is still open. I hope I made myself plain. I ain't gonna say it no more. Islam.
Islam, grand class.
All right.
National Grand Sheep Gratitude. This is Sean Washington, M.O. Chuck Raw Bayo from the Michigan Consulate. I rise and give all praise to the great God Allah. I give all honors to my prophet, the last prophet of all time, Sharif Adu Ali. I give all honors to Marcus Garvey's forerunner. I give all honors to the theocratic government, the 12 departments, for leaving the lights when the doors open. I give all honors to the 101s, 102s, the Book of Fire, the Hadiths, the Book of Ali. I give all honors to the Prophet's Remedies, the Moorish Tea. I give all honors to all my Moorish kin on this class tonight. It's a Grand Master class. Wow. I was just thinking about it. I said, we got to follow the prophet. We can't keep following everybody else, these false prophets that did not bring us the nationality. I was just thinking about that. Wow, that's Allah. You know, I was like, wow, it wasn't these, like, all these prophets y'all might know, Son of Man and, you know, Benny Hinn, you know, all these, you know, so-called, you know, pastors. We got to follow the prophet. We can't keep following fools that you know, don't know, ain't telling our people nothing right, you know. And we telling the truth, you know. We out here telling the truth to our more skin, you know. And it ain't about, you know, carnal look right now, how you dress, the blush, you know. It's not about the carnal woman right now, the man. You know, they going to the tomorrow. They going to the church tomorrow. Christianity. You know, they gonna worship a pastor. You know, they still mess around with the churches. You know, they still can't figure this out. You know, like I be telling myself, priesthood is dead. You know, we are the priesthood. You know, I know I'm the priesthood. You know,
Prophet, he told us you don't need an attorney. You don't need nobody. Really, you don't need nobody. You don't need a woman. You don't bow out to a woman because she, y'all figure she look good outside, but who's in her heart? Even the man, even the children, like you were saying, it's terrible. These terrible. Now these women not talking about you gotta pay them to get with them. You gotta have your stuff together. You gotta have a good slave paying job, And it is messed up out here. It's getting worse. Our people need to come home to this government. They need to come home and free themselves. I'm not like you saying. I'm not trying to be a holy rolling guy here. Like I be saying, we need to work on ourselves. Like you just said, we got to work on stuff, go inside self. Everything is in the heart. And a lot of these women, modern day women, I might have heard about that. They going over there to the UAE and these Arabs, these so-called Arabs, is doing all kind of stuff to them. They flying over there for some money, finance, and like this getting degraded. These unconscious Moorish women, that's calling themselves black, and that's why we need to come into this government, And the prophet said, he said, all foreigners, if we don't have a free national name, if we don't look up to your free national government, he said, foreigners, they're gonna mistreat you. They're gonna take advantage of you. Any race, any other. It ain't the European. It could be any other, foreigner. But it's really the enemy. He's taking our people out. Wow, our people need to wake up, and we need to nationalize. Declare our nationality, and this independent government. And it's for our people to work on self. It's time to stop playing games. And it seems like everybody want to have fun in this worldly stuff right now. It ain't nothing about nothing. It ain't about nationalizing, governing yourself. It's just like it's everything just for love of money, the carnal look of man and woman. I don't need a nationality. What that gonna do for me? What government? Y'all don't have a government. And see, some of our people, they want to be like the Memphis, in Detroit it's called a city county building. It be busy with a mayor being mayor sit up back 11-4. That's what they looking at. And I'm telling our people, that's not a government. It's a government. It's not a government for us. So they want to be like that, like a corporation. Coming in and out, doing service, and that's why they be looking like y'all don't have no government. It's all good. I know who I'm is. I'm a horse American. I got my own government, my own 12 departments. It don't faze me no more. I keep it moving, drop my blessings. Gratitude, peace and love, Islam.
Muted. Unmuted.
And gratitude for the measure, brother. Remember our subject matter is my Father sent me here to show the power of love divine. That love that reaches every living thing. Like I said, got to keep in mind, this ain't no church, this ain't no masjid, this ain't got nothing to do with religion. We have what we call a nationality and a divine creed. That divine creed having to do with those things that you apply to yourself to make yourself better. Not nobody else outside of yourself, but yourself. Ain't got nothing to do with
Dr. Shaheen. We can't hear you on the conference call side.
Okay, Islam, Grand National Secretary of State, gratitude. So
gratitude.
Yeah, they definitely need to hear what I was saying. So like I said, this ain't no religious organization. This ain't the church. This ain't no masjid. And for those who are looking at the Moorish American government, that's part of the problem, because we have a nationality and a divine creed. Your nationality is your descent nature. Your divine creed represent the principles that you live and apply to yourself and make them applicable to the self, not nobody else outside of yourself. You see? And once we begin to look at things that way, then we'll stop getting caught up into people lower self, making them our gods outside of the self. Because when you, whatever you put on your mind, more, you know, and it transcend, you know, or cause you to deviate from the path of Allah, you made that a God outside of yourself. You know, if you fail because of a woman, you know, and went astray, fail because of a man, you know, be it a teacher, not, or whatever you want to call it, or just a citizen, you know, then you made them a God outside of yourself. And that's a part of your problem. Because you're looking for somebody to blame, always looking for a scapegoat. Instead of looking at the self, study yourself. Stop trying to study everybody else. That's why a lot of our Moorish kin can't even get these lessons down. Right? They too busy trying to study somebody else outside of themselves. And then, you know, come back a few months later. Can you give me some documentation? And I done gave you the documentation 7 times. You mean to tell me you didn't get there one of the documentation, you know, that you asked for out of the 7 times that I gave it to you? Yeah, because you were busy trying to study something else outside of the self. And most of our people, this is another thing. You ain't going to be able to absorb these lessons, you know, if you have ill intent. Your vessel can't hold it. Your vessel can't hold these lessons if you got ill intent. You want to just try to get them, you know, to make yourself sound good. You want to get them just to learn the Moorish language and how we talk over here, so you can go out there and find somebody unsuspecting, you know, and not lead them here, but lead them somewhere else. You ain't going to be able to absorb these lessons doing that, reaping in a scanty way. That's a part of the divine defense. You know, angels don't dwell. You know, angels represent thoughts. So it's the angelic thoughts that allow you to hold this demonstration and be able to demonstrate with power, clarity, and authority. If you ain't got no angels up there, you got a bunch of demons rotating up in your apparatus. Well, then guess what? I ain't even got to say nothing. Did I do that? No, I didn't do it. And the prophet didn't ask you who made you do it. He asked you who made you. So at this time, what we're going to do, we're going to start by calling on our officials. You know, are you there, Sister Alcetta Moon L? All right.
Islam.
Islamism.
Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. First, let me rise and give our praises to Allah and our honors to our Prophet Nabi Ali. Honors to our Moorish American government, our officials of our government and our citizens. Honors to all my Moorish kin online. Honors to Act 1, our National Grand Chairman of Moorish America, Dr. Ahmed President Maurice, our National Grand Chief of Moorish America, Dr. Travis of Israel, and to you, our National Assistant Grand Chief of Moorish America, Dr. Shadul Metal Vicenju Shepswell, and honors also for our bringing forth the grand Moorish perspective this evening. Honors on our subject matter. Coming from Ayat 19. Give me 1 second. Is move my book. So first from Ayat 19. On a topic for tonight's class. having listened to what you were saying more, was kind of like honest to open up my class in country law also. And so I got it in Queens for the Godman taking registration and read us the chapter of the week. And I was listening to the class, and the subject matter was being spoken coming from my eyes. And I have to concur with the Muslims before me, because you can't fool the law. And you can't fake it till you make it. Not when it comes to more science, because prophet sees you, universe sees you, Allah sees you. Cherubim and seraphim are protectors on our guys see you. And the Muslims see you. Because we have to look at ourselves also. The prophet said one must look for his devil, he must look within. It's called the lower self, which breeds hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harms. So, and he also taught us if one must look for his savior, you must look within, the higher self. The murders of virtues and the harmonies of life that breeds justice, mercy, love, and right. And so, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice is the only thing that can bring forth the salvation of our people. There's a salvation of the world, really, because we see what's going on around the world. Even to the earth, it's spewing stuff out and trying to clean up. That's why we having these tremors, these earthquakes, these tsunamis. Nature is letting us know that we got to get our act together. Because it's cleaning house. The universe is letting us know it's cleaning house. We see things that's going on around us. And to some of us, and within our atmosphere, within our world, around us. So this is some time to be playing with great God and to be playing with the salvation. We have to pay attention to our prophecies. If he let us know within there. It's a timeline. Starting from 1930, the prophet been telling us these different things. When the 4 bridges cross the sky, he's been telling us. When you see a Asiatic president, a European vice president, he's been giving us all these notes, these signs. He said, more, we got to get right. We got to proclaim our nationality and get into our government, because the Moors don't want to be who they are. Jimcroism will come back. That's Trump. He came back a few years ago. He gave you 4 years to get. He come back again with more force now, because he said, I got to organize. And from the time he hit office, he started doing all these different things. So he's letting us know our forefathers is right there telling us, listen, the European will tell you the truth. He will make them tell you the truth. Our prophet told us that. And they've been telling us all these different things. So we ain't been paying attention because we think we got time. Time is promised to no man. Time never was when man was not. If there was a time when time would end, if the time when time again, there would be a time when man would end. So, and we know when it comes to a law, as long as the law lives, man cannot die. So we have to understand that in the spirit, we are part of one with Allah. Allah is within us. But we know in this flesh we have to live on this earth. This is where the soul resides. The soul governs, it connects us to that beatific will, that spirit man. But we have to pay attention and don't try to battle with Allah. It's a losing battle, let's put it that way. You can't win because you ain't on that level. And so it behooves us all to pay attention to our prophet and keep him out front. He said, keep me out front more, so when the fire comes, I'll be your water. So ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. It is. And it is now. So we just got to get right before we made to do so. And keep that love out front. Keep the love, right? People call me for Islam is. Muted. Unmuted.
In Islam, for that measure, my Father sent me here to show the power of love divine, that love that reaches every living thing. That's what we're talking about. So let us call forth our National Grand Mufti, Dr. Kanshu Ma'at Herubay. Islam. You know our brother gonna bring that measure point by point. He ain't gonna dance around it. Islam, you there, grand man?
Islam, can you hear me?
Islam Mufti. We hear you loud and well.
Gratitude, grand man. We rise giving all thanksgiving, adoration, worship, and praise to our Father God, Allah, the great God of the universe, the most beneficent and the most wise, and we give the highest honors that we can give to his prophet, our prophet, the last prophet in these days and times, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Al-Haj Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali, the savior of humanity. We give honor to his forerunner, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and we give honor to his government, our government, the Moorish American government, the government in which we live. According to Act 6, we give honors to the officials of this said government, our divine ministers and swift angels, our mufti, our royal council, our secretaries. We give honor to our citizens, the Moorish Americans. We give honor to our flag and our divine constitution and bylaws, our Holy Quran, our Grand National Seal, our Grand National Emblem, our Book of Fire, the exhument of a nation. We give honor to everything that is Moorish. We give a special honor to the National Assistant Grand Sheikh, Dr. Shadul Mehdi Ahmedu Chpt32 for bringing forth the Moorish perspective this evening. We give honor to all of our Moorish kin who have spoken before us, to our Moorish kin that will speak after us. We give honor to you, angels. We just continue to give the honors where they're due and honoring all true and divine prophets. And we give honors to our ancestors as they have come before us, leading the way. We are them today without doubt or contradiction, because no one has the power to change man from his sin nature. So praise Allah for that. And it's been a grand class. And as you said, ain't no religious organization, it's the government. And when it comes to my Father sent me here, to show the power of love divine, that love that reaches every living thing, that's the choice that's being stated there, and the thought pattern that's being presented that has to be chosen. One sent to do a certain job. What you have to, it's up to you to do the job. I remember when I was younger, when I was a child, I was staying with my grandma. She used to send me and my cousins to the store. She would send me with exact change. She knew exactly how much everything was going to cost. She had the coupons, and she left it with just enough to get us a little ice cream, a cone, 35-cent cone, and one scoop after we did all that. And she knew exactly what brand it was supposed to be, and then not mess up, because you ain't gonna have the right amount of money. But she let one know, hey, this is what you're supposed to go get, and it helped me, reading and counting and all these things. It was a very important, I'll put it like this, she took another way of teaching me the fundamentals, and me and my cousins, the fundamentals of life, without making the reading seem so boring, the counting seem so boring as it does in the stagnant school. She applied it to a lesson. We had to walk from distance to go get it and then bring it back. But
You know, it was worth the ice cream, it was worth getting out the house. Because my grandma liked to have us dusting things. She had a whole lot of knickknacks and things like that. So it was always fun to get out of the house. But I say that to say that, you know, our Father has sent us, each and every one of us, on this mission. Those who have heard the call, that was not for accident, was not by accident. No strange happening. There's a reason you heard the call. The prophet said that his sheep know the sound of his voice. And so once you hear the call and you get the lesson, or you get the mission, it's still upon you to make the choice on what you want to do. And as you were saying, you know, you can't point the finger at somebody else and say, well, I didn't do what I was supposed to do because this person over there wasn't doing what they were supposed to do. I didn't do my task, Father God Allah, because I seen this one over here being in dereliction of their duty and not manning their post and not doing what they supposed to do. So I was like, well, they ain't doing it. And what matters is if I don't do it. You know, that doesn't work. You know, judgment comes alone. You know, you ain't gonna be standing next to no one on the day of judgment. You're gonna be standing on your own, and your heart gonna be weighed next to that feather. Your actions gonna be weighed, accounted for themselves, not against anyone else, but in your own intent of your own action. That's why the intent of the action is most important, and what you do, because Allah knows whether you give, like we got, like you see on social media, ones doing kind acts just to be seen. They want to film all their kind acts and put people who may have been in a bad position and spotlight that for them instead of just doing it for the good of it instead of for the recognition of it. And that's on the day of judgment, that's going to be taken into account. You can't fool Allah in your intent. You know, that's like the politicians. You know, they talk about kissing the baby, shaking hands, kissing babies. You're just doing that because you want to vote, not because you're actually trying to do some good for the people. Just trying to get a position. As you say, we're wanting to paying for your lifestyle, but you know, the lesson for the Greek, this love divine, is that, you know, we are here to show true love, and what that is in reality when it comes to divinity. Why? Because we are the trendsetters. We are the ones who set the vibe and the tone for the world. And so it's that time that we, you know, get out of the ratchetness, get out of the gutter with our thought patterns and our actions, and as, you know, lace our bootstraps up and get to work, you know, do what's necessary to pull ourselves out of these shallow graves. You know, we know one is still trying to throw dirt on us and keep us buried. We know one is still trying to beat us upside the head and keep us knocked out so we can't. But this is the awakening. This is the age of Aquarius. One is, you know, whether you groggy or not, one ain't unconscious no more. You know, we can see the shovel coming. We can see one trying to throw the dirt. We can see one trying to attack us and keep us in the message that we have come to bring buried and asleep. And, you know, like I said, time has passed where you're going to be able to keep up your sins upon another. That was during the Piscean age where they did that and crucified YEHOSHUA because they wanted to heap up their sins and be forgiven once a year and put it on one person and sacrifice that person for all the negative and not that they done did. Well, it don't work like that no more. You know, it ain't gonna happen like that. You know, when our words is love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice got to be on the manifest. Love, truth, peace, and freedom got to be standing upon, because if not, then justice is going to take its course. And the wrath cuts both ways. You know, it doesn't discriminate. So, you know, we just want to give honor to you, Sister Grand Chief, for the class and bringing forth this thought pattern and presentation this evening for our more skin to once again get the wake-up call that, you know, we look at what's going on in the world, volcanoes, tsunamis, and earthquakes, and floods, and you ain't gonna be able. There ain't gonna be a time when you're gonna be at a point you're like, well, I didn't get ready because they wouldn't get ready over there. You know, the answer to that is be like, okay, well, you can go on and die with the rest of them, because nature don't. Like I said, it cuts both ways. Nature don't discriminate when it comes to clearing out ones. Anything out of order is gonna get put back into order, or gonna get raced out for demonstration. And so you can point all you want to, but the time, as Prophet said, if you ain't ready, you better get ready. And when you're ready, you better stay ready, because this is the time the readiness is gonna be called upon it, as they say in that other nation, a state of emergency. You know, what you gonna do? Who you gonna call during a state of emergency if you ain't ready and you ain't set nothing up for those plans? It's gonna be a long, a long night, as they say, contemplation of all the things you shoulda, coulda, woulda did. But it's too late at that point. So let us work together, be unified, and bring forth this lesson. Gratitude to you, Morris America, for being here with us, giving us your time, attention, perspective. Love you. Islam and peace.
Muted. Unmuted.
In Islam, Grand Mufti, you know, YEHOSHUA said it like this: let he who is without sin cast the first stone. We give honors to you for that drawing, Grand Man. And like you said, you know, and that was decreed from the beginning. You go in Surah 7 in the Grand Quran, the heights, and Allah called forth man when he was still within the loins of his father, so to speak, or before he had physically become manifest. He say, this is so you can't say on the day it was my fathers and my mothers who made me go astray. Because he put a fitra in us, you know, to be upright. It's in our nature to be upright, you know, so we can't use no excuses. And, yeah, you know, sister such and such, you know, she was out there prostituting. Brother such and such, he was out there whoring. You know, just, you know, all this stuff, excuses that people use, you know, to go and do things. You know, I know what it feels like to walk in the teachings of the prophet, you know, and have one, you know, because one choose to be in the higher self saying, you ain't perfect. You think you better than, you know what I mean? You ain't never one time said you perfect or you better than nobody. You know, but you know, when you live in that truth and you really about it, that's what you bring out of people. It make them feel uncomfortable in living the way that they live, and they feel like they don't have the strength in them. So they want to look at you, you know, and say, oh, you think you better than me. You know, you think this, because you don't eat no pork, or you don't eat no meat, and you don't eat, this or whatever, and you see it going through the grocery store. People look at you, got a bunch of vegetables in there. Oh man, you ain't got no meat in there? I can't do that. You understand? It's because they are projecting they thoughts, upon you. And it go that way in every facet of life. It can be on a job. You can be good at what you do on a job, and you just minding your business. It's just your work ethic, but you got somebody want to come over there and look at you, and they waiting, like the brother said earlier, for you to make a mistake, so they can say something to you. And that's just the way it is when you deal with carnal nature. That's how you know you're dealing with a carnal mind. So that's what it is. But let me call on my National Grand Secretary of the State, Sister Chpt32 Ma'at and Putut, to coming back. Islam, you there, Goddess and Queen?
Close to the heart. Grand class. Gratitude.
Gratitude.
Muted. This Moorish 10, first fall and rise, giving all praises to our Father God Allah, giving honor to our prophet, Noble Dua Ali, the last prophet in these days and times, giving honor to our Moorish American government, to all of our officials, staff, the angels, muftis, divine ministers, most especially our Moorish kin. Giving honor to our National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America, Dr. Shadwa Menti, and Chpt32 for opening our meeting according to law, and also hosting this Grand Moorish Perspective class this evening. Giving honor to our Consul General of Texas, Dr. Marvin Edwards Bay, for taking registration and reading our subject chapter for the week. We want to give honor to all of our Moorish kin, our family online. We want to give honor to Act One, and also all those Moors that spoke before me and all those Moors that will speak after me. This has been such a powerful class, and definitely we see that one truth doesn't contradict another, and that the truth 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 years ago is still applicable today. When we looked at the subject matter coming from Ayat 19, my Father sent me here to show the power of love divine, that love that reaches every living thing. That's a powerful, powerful measure. And this is what our prophet brought to us in reference to holy and divine instructions to help us manifest what it is that we're supposed to do. What did our Creator call out for us to do? To show the power of love divine. It's just that simple. And that's not a dirty thing. It's not a negative thing. But when we look at finite mind can't comprehend those things infinite. That's why it's imperative for us to study when it comes down to the self, so that we can beat that higher self that we know and continue to receive revelations until we demonstrate from that level of fruition. And much gratitude for reading from the exegesis of the Holy Quran, dealing with Surah 42, ayat 23. I ask no reward from you for it. I ask you to cherish the strongest love, to be near. And that's powerful. When you cherish something, then you recognize its value, you put protection on it, you secure it, and things of that nature. And so we're being requested to demonstrate that from love divine. But when we look at love divine, that is something that is natural to us anyway, then that's something that should bring about the harmony, the peace, the joy, etc., when we are able to come from that a special level. And the other thing that was prevalent is dealing with the mutually fighting tribes should unite in love and friendship. And this is something that we as a people have got to learn in reference to. It's not about I want to get to the goal first, or I got a bigger title than you, or these things that lead to demarcations. And as long as we are separated, looking at each other cockeyed, that is definitely not indicative of love divine. And in essence, you open yourself up to being taken off the count. You know, so when we are able to look at it from a universal level as far as the job that we are called to do here on this plane, and even looking at chapter 1 in reference to being the Lord of the plane of things made manifest, and being the Lord of the plane of souls, specifically the vanguards and representatives of Allah here on this earth, then that definitely takes full-time attention. When we look at, let me see, hold on a second more. So just had a couple of notes down here, and we shouldn't wait for something that is a calamity or some kind of ill condition for us to bring about that love divine. This is something that we strive to demonstrate on a daily basis, in essence, keeping it above the next, staying in our higher self. And when we look at a thought pattern that is deliberately seeking to tear down, destroy, etc., the only vehicle that has been provided to us in this new era of time, then you have to look at it when the prophet, because he dealt with this while he was in the flesh. And he said, you try to tear this up, it's going to tear you up. Now, that's between that individual and their creator. But I do want to bring out the point that we all see on this planet Mud, any government that's going to let you come into administrative ranks, use their name, seal, and everything to do and say what you want to do without authority or permission. I don't know if any government is going to allow that to happen. And as our Moorish kin has stated, this is not an organizational structure. It's not a clan, a clique. We're not an NGO. We're not Western Freemasonry. You know, we're not dealing with membership. We are dealing with a government. And until we get the understanding of how our government works, you know, being a part of a human family of nations, what that entails and what it is that our foundation is about, then we're going to keep getting taken off the count by distractions, allurements, you know, king ambition or vanity, ego, whatever you want to put upon it. But the thing is, the question is, am I studying myself? You know, am I striving to demonstrate the name of faithful? You know, am I doing what the Creator would have me do? And when we look at it from a universal level and also join and link that with what it is that we are here to do, then we don't have any problems. You can see somebody that has an ill intent. Don't mean you got to sit there and go feed into it, tap with it, play dance, and all this other kind of stuff. You know, but the prophet spoke about angels, seen and unseen. You know, and we have got to recognize what is priority in this day and time. We don't have to imagine, guess, perhaps, maybe. It's already been given to us. All we got to do is, what does the prophet say? Take it and save ourselves. So we're not here to look cockeyed at one another. We're here to bring about love divine, and that starts with the self. Because in that reading that you brought forth, not only are we talking about your immediate family, not only are we talking about those within our special nation, but also the rest of the nations of the earth. So we are just blessed, Moorish kin, to be able to have these holy and divine lessons. So we know what it is that we are supposed to be doing and not doing, you know, and that Allah will do the sorting out, and Allah sees all. So there is no need for worry or looking cockeyed or anything like that. You know, we just be about our Father's work. And in order to do that, you have to have clarity. So gratitude more for calling me forth. Much peace and love to all of my Moorish kin. Islam.
Unmuted.
And Islamism, Grand National Secretary of the State, we give honors to you for that love thought. And you know, it's something else, right? Because one thing about the great God Allah, he keep the conscious conscious. And you can't get nothing by the conscious. you know, and so the grand drawing, you know, like you said, Grand Secretary of the State, you know, in many different instances, you can't read in a scanning way, you know. So who you fooling? So we say gratitude with a divine attitude, you know, and it's a powerful measure, you know, getting these truths from Allah's treasures, you know, and at this time, let us call forth our Grand National Chairman, Dr. Akin Pert M. Heru, to come in Bay. You there, Grand Man? I know you
call
know
me.
Man, I know you know who made you.
Man, I wish a member would.
Islam.
Islam. Let me praise to Allah on to the last part of these days and time. The one that's set to bring us to everything that'll take to save a nation. And you know, more so we look at this powerful topic and subject matter, you know, and you just have to see how the questions are answered, because just to know that my Father sent me here to show the power of love divine, you know, this right here, if that don't reach everything in you, I mean, what else you gonna do? Once you know that you and the great God are one, what else you gonna do? Shoot it or dribble it. Because it don't take long to tell the truth. So it's a powerful journey, more, and that's the reason why now we got our own Holy Quran, we got our own flags, our one-on-one questionnaires, everything. Well, it's just a powerful journey, and we're able to do, because now we can teach our own children. We can teach the nation that's coming after us. We can teach, it's all there. So it's a wonderful thing, because the first question is who made you? And now, once you can answer that, it's on. So it's an honor and a blessing. Well, Islam is without the schism.
And Islamism for that divine wisdom. We give honors to you, Chairman. Praise be to Allah. And Grand National Secretary of the State, do you see our National Grand Sheik on the board?
Yes, sir.
Well, all right then. But let us call forth our National Grand Sheik, Dr. Serapis Amin Rael. Islam, you there, Grand Man? You got that catch 13 we put out there in the ethers?
Islam.
Islamism.
I ain't take it over for me, Angel.
Islam. Yes, sir. We love you, Sheik.
Islam.
Islamism without the schism. Want to give honors to the triune Allah. Want to give honors to Act 1. The Moorish kin. Keep the prophet out front, you know, and love instead of hate. We ain't got to learn it. We know how to do it. January 15, 1929. A warning from the prophet to be read at every meeting. I hereby inform all citizens that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work in their homes on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. When these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any citizen or group of citizens who hold malicious feelings toward the government or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the laws laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where our prophet found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. If the prophet is not right, the government is not right. The prophet therefore is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the government. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways. By order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, we bring forth this divine decree. Chapter 25, a holy covenant of the Asiatic nations. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breasts of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Go in peace, Muslims. Moorish movement, divine movement, everlasting movement. Islamism without the schism.
This session is no longer being recorded.
It feels good loving somebody when somebody loves you back. We love you, Moors. Peace and love, Moors. We hit that note, man, from Mashiq. Y'all don't know Mashiq can sing. Islam. Islam. See you Moors in Sunday school. Want to give honor to all our Moors. We apologize to y'all for the audio issue on the panel, but we'll try to correct that. Islam. Peace and love.
Goodbye.